Hey everyone, this video is going to be a bit different from my usual ones because I kind of just want to provide an update for you guys because I've reflected and I realized I really haven't been feeling all that great as of late. And it's not like depression or anything, I'll get into it a bit later, but I believe the way I've been feeling has affected my work, my videos. I don't even know if I can call this work, but it's affected the videos I've been making, or at least I believe it has, because I feel like I've been a bit more negative as of late, and I don't really want to be making videos from that kind of headspace, and I usually meditate for like a few minutes before I make videos to try to clear my mind. But even so, I just feel like, I feel like I've been negative, and some of you may have noticed, maybe others haven't, but I just wanted to make a video to kind of explain where I'm at, because I don't know if you'll get anything out of this, but for those of you who've been following me for a while, maybe it'll be helpful just to see where I'm at. I can't imagine any new subscribers will find this video at all interesting or helpful, but I'm not making it for them. So let's dive into it. Basically, what I'm dealing with is it's kind of like constant stress from feeling like I no longer belong in the area I'm living. It's not depression. I wouldn't say it's that, because I'm not lacking energy at all. I don't have difficulty getting out of bed. None of that. It's not, maybe it's some form of anxiety, but even then, I felt anxiety before, and like my heart was racing and it was horrible. And this isn't that either. So maybe it's just like chronic stress. It's basically, I feel like that's what I'm dealing with. Like stress from knowing that I've overstayed my welcome in Los Angeles and I just want to get the hell out. I know I make tons of videos on mindset, and you guys are probably wondering, like, how the hell am I feeling this way? Because it's all done by myself. I know that, right? Like, LA hasn't really, okay, it has changed since I've been a child, but it's not like it's changed drastically over like the past few years or so. I mean, COVID has probably changed things a tiny amount. Like, I have noticed people are a lot more, how do I put it? They're like more, not antagonistic, but there we go. They're distrusting now, more so than before, because, the pandemic made it so everybody treated other people like a host for disease. So of course it's going to make you trust people less. So that I have noticed people are less friendly now, it seems. But anyway, none of that matters. What I was getting at is I'm doing it to myself, and I know that. It's my mindset. And I just have hit a point where I feel like I don't have much patience left anymore. Like, I've even mentioned this in prior videos where I've talked about how you shouldn't stay in places where you don't enjoy them, because after a while, I do believe all of us will hit a point where our patience just wears thin and it starts to affect you in a really negative way, like your mental health starts declining. That's where I'm at. I just feel like I haven't been my usual fairly happy self, or at least even just content. I found myself thinking more and more negatively, finding that I'm getting annoyed over little things and just not having the patience that I used to have. And that's because I feel like I don't belong here anymore. And I'm just trying to get the hell out. Like, that's what I'm working towards. I'm really at this point where I don't like living in Los Angeles anymore. I just don't. And I have no more patience to stay here anymore. And I just don't feel welcome here anymore. It's pretty much where it's at. And it sucks because this is where I was born and raised. Like, this is all I know pretty much for the most part. I've only ever lived in varying parts of Los Angeles, the county itself. I don't mean the city proper, but I've always lived somewhere in LA County. I've never ventured out of it, and it's just weird to see it change over time to become, at least in my opinion, less of a friendly area. And I've already talked about the psychology of big cities and all that in prior videos, so if you watch those ones, you know exactly what I'm referring to, and the literal psychological reason why big cities can be so uninviting. But I've just hit a point where I know myself so well, and I know I don't have a future here. Like, this is not the place where I want to stay. I just don't like big cities. I don't like the fact that there's hardly any beauty in them, because it's all just gray and slate colored crap and buildings that are built out of concrete and just horrible, ugly pieces of work. I've even seen, and this thing trips me out, I've even seen a quote by, I don't remember who it was, but some guy said something along the lines of, if you want to demoralize a populace, just remove all beauty in their surroundings, like design buildings to be ugly and dreary looking. And I feel like that's Los Angeles. I don't know if it's being done intentionally. It probably isn't. It's just like profit based and people trying to cut corners. And if you design for beauty, that costs more. Whereas if you just do minimalism, then you make this ugly ass building, but hey, it's cheaper. So I don't think there's some like malicious intent behind it all. But who the hell knows? But it's probably a low percentage. I don't want to get into conspiracies here. But there's not a lot of beauty in Los Angeles. There is at the ocean, but that's like because that's the one area where you can kind of see nature again. Like if I go outside, there are trees, somewhat, very few of them, but like there aren't any real forests that are close by, at least not within walking distance. And I'd have to drive pretty far to find a legit forest. Like Los Angeles forest is, I think, like an hour and a half or 2 hours away from me. I want to live somewhere where I'm more in nature and less people too. Like I just hit a point where I really don't like being around people who haven't worked on themselves as much. It's not that I don't like people. It's just I like people who are good and kind and respectful towards others. And there are a lot of them in Los Angeles, so don't get me wrong, but I just feel like that they're not the norm at all. Like the norm is people who are self-centered and don't really care about how their actions affect others. So I'm not saying most people are going to be mean per se. They're just going to be rather selfish in the way that they act. So it's not like they're always going to be rude to other people, but they're just not polite like they used to be. Like if I go walking around this neighborhood I live in, people won't even really make eye contact with you when passing you anymore. When I was a kid growing up, like that wasn't the case. People would at least have some level of friendliness to them where they would acknowledge your presence. They would either make eye contact, give you a little nod, or they'd straight up say hi or hello or good morning or whatever. That's not really, at least I'm not seeing it happen much anymore. So I just don't feel like I belong here anymore, and it's getting to me. It's messing me up. It really is. My mental health is declining, and then on top of that, many of you don't know this, but my roommate got injured like around 3 months ago. So he actually stopped working for like a 3-month period. He was here all the time, and that started to affect my mental health because I felt like I suddenly didn't have like space to myself anymore. And I really need that. Like I'm one of those people who I can have a lot of fun with other people, but I need time by myself to just decompress, to have nobody around me. And I won't even need to be doing anything crazy, just like playing a video game or reading a book, but I just won't want other people near me. Like, I literally get in moods where I don't want to talk to people. My parents know this because it used to trip them out and made them think I didn't like them, but I told them, no, it has nothing to do with you. Like, I just need time to myself. And with my roommate being here all the time constantly during those 3 months, it really started to affect me because I felt like I couldn't escape. I couldn't just get away from other people. I never could have alone time. And that's something I need a lot of. And I would even drive other places, go in nature and be alone, but that wasn't enough. I basically needed our apartment to feel like home, but it didn't because I felt like I couldn't fully relax because I always knew he was in the other room, and I also couldn't do certain things I wanted to do, like watch Netflix series that I had been watching. It was literally part of my daily routine. Now I couldn't because he was always on using the television since he was home, and he doesn't game or anything, so there was like literally all he would do when he was here is watch TV or be in our living room. So I just felt like I couldn't get alone time anymore, and it was really starting to bug me. And then on top of that, he finally started working again. I think like this past week was his first week back on the job, I want to say. And now he's basically back with his ex, and he's having her over for the weekends. And that's starting to frustrate me because now I don't even get the weekends alone anymore either. And also on top of that, his ex, she's a decent, like, okay person, but she's done things in the past that made me lose respect for her. And with that, I just don't want her around because I don't have much respect left for her. And I've already made a video talking about how I don't really like people I don't respect, and Yeah, so it's difficult. It's basically, I'm just at a point where I want to get the hell out of LA and I don't want to have roommates anymore, because I've found even when you have an awesome roommate, which my roommate really is, like, I'm not trying to talk crap about him. This is all dealing with me. It's just, I don't want people around me anymore, because I've realized even with great roommates, there are just little things that take away your freedom or detract from your mental health that you can't control. And it's just, all of it is getting to me. I'm at a point where I need time away from everything, like a long time, or I just need to get the hell out of LA permanently. And that's pretty much what I've landed on, and that's what I'm working towards. So probably within the next year or so, I'll finally get the hell out of here. But I just want to make a video to give you guys an update on where I'm at and what things have kind of led to me being here, because it really is just a combination of me not feeling welcome in this county anymore, this area that I grew up, and then not feeling welcome at my own place where I live. It's not even really mine, so I can't say that, but the place where me and my roommate are, I just don't feel like it's homely anymore. So I just don't feel like I belong anywhere here, and it's really affecting my mental health. So yeah, it's pretty much just an update on where I'm at, to give you guys some insight and hopefully to show you that, like, you can have an awesome mindset and things will still affect you. So please be aware of that. Like, if you do start to get worn down by things, you have to think about what changes you can make, because you shouldn't accept being in a place that is starting to really just beat you down. Like, one of my close friends and I had a discussion about this, because he moved to Chicago years ago. He and I were like really close before he moved, and that kind of sucked because then I couldn't hang out anymore. But I remember there was a portion, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, where in Chicago, he was telling me that the city was basically like beating him down, like it was winning against him. And I told him, hey, look, man, like, you don't need to stay there if you feel like you don't belong. But he told me he wanted to stay because he wanted to conquer the city, and he felt like he would come out of it a better person if he stayed in a situation that he didn't quite like. And I told him, hey, look, like, that's good and all, but if there's a point where you staying there starts to affect your physical and mental health, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think there's any point in proving to yourself that you can survive somewhere you don't like, or that you have the mindset, the mental toughness to survive it. Because is that really living at that point? Like, you're just dealing with misery and suffering to prove something to yourself? I don't see much benefit in that. Like, there is up to a certain point, but beyond that point, you're just hurting yourself for what? And I don't want to let that happen to myself here in LA, because I just don't see any point to staying here anymore. And I don't see any value out of me staying here for mental strength purposes. I've got plenty of mental strength. I don't need to frickin' stay here to gain more of it. That's just going to make me unhappy for X amount of years of my life that will then be wasted. So yeah, if you're at a place where you feel like your patience is wearing thin, get the hell out. Like, you don't need to stay to prove something to yourself. You don't need to stay for mental strength benefits, because there are plenty of other better ways of developing mental strength than staying somewhere that is making you miserable. So that's pretty much all I want to talk about, guys. I guess at the end of this video there is a bit of a helpful piece of advice, so I'm not just, I don't know, sharing my vulnerability with you. I mean, I feel like there's benefit in that as well, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the purpose of this video was. Besides, I just wanted to let you guys know where my head is at in case it's affecting my videos, because I do believe it has been, but maybe some of you haven't noticed. I don't know. But yeah, there you go. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I'm going to end the video here and stop rambling. So if you like content like this, subscribe for more. Yeah. I don't know who the hell would watch all the way to the end who isn't already subscribed, because that would be interesting. I don't know what you're getting out of this. This video is more for people who've been following me for a long time and actually care about where I'm at in life, because there you go. I just wanted to talk to you guys the way I would talk to my friends, because a lot of you are freaking like my friends now, and it's really cool to see. Like, it's awesome the way the internet kind of connects us all. But yeah, I mean, I won't even say the usual outro stuff. Fuck it. I mean, that's all I have in this video, and I'll keep working on this, guys. Like, don't feel pity for me. Don't feel bad for me. None of that crap. I don't want anyone's pity. Just know that I'm not in like a horrible place. I'm working towards getting out of here. So like, don't fear for my safety at all. I'm not suicidal or depressed or anything like that. So it's not that bad. It's just my mental health and stress levels aren't what I want them to be. So something I'm working on. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci.